Imagine waking up in 1932. Your father's lost his job, the bank's foreclosed on your neighbor's home, and bread lines snake down the block. This was life for millions during the Great Depression, a period triggered by the 1929 stock market crash, a financial catastrophe that led to a domino effect of bankruptcies and 25% unemployment. But let's pause. Why did this unravel so fast? The system was vulnerable due to over-leveraged banks, much like a house of cards built on hope instead of cash. When confidence collapsed, so did everything else. Now you might be thinking, was life all misery? Actually, adversity bred innovation. Families started victory gardens in empty lots, turning even city rooftops into mini-farms. Bartering replaced money. Imagine trading eggs for a haircut. In rural areas, the Dust Bowl, a literal storm of drought and bad farming, forced thousands to migrate, seeking survival in California. Let me tell you a story my own grandmother remembered, sewing dresses from flour sacks, each patterned with cheerful prints to make do. That's resilience, taking scarcity and spinning it into pride. Two technical terms here. Deflation, where falling prices sound good until you realize paychecks shrink too, and migrant labor, when families moved en masse for seasonal work, reshaping entire regions. The conflict? America's spirit was tested. Would people break under the pressure or adapt? The answer was a mix. Some suffered terribly, but communities pulled together with church suppers, homegrown food, and neighborly aid. Even the government stepped in, launching New Deal programs like Social Security, the safety net we still rely on today. So, the Great Depression wasn't just economic, it was social, cultural, and deeply personal. The story's resolution lies in how Americans turned hardship into solidarity, transforming the way communities, commerce, and even the government worked. It's a lesson that echoes every time we face crisis. Hardship shapes us, but endurance defines us. When reality felt overwhelming, where did people turn? Enter the magic of 1930 seconds entertainment, a world of jazz, cinema, and radio that lifted spirits nationwide. Picture this. It's evening. You're huddled around the radio with your family, listening to Roosevelt's fireside chats or a thrilling detective serial. The radio became a lifeline, pulling in news, drama, and hope through the airwaves. Now, you may wonder, how could folks afford fun in hard times? Here's the twist. Movie tickets cost a nickel, making Hollywood escapism accessible to almost everyone. As the Great Depression deepened, films like The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind offered color, spectacle, and fantasy. The technical term Technicolor described these vivid new movies, dazzling audiences who'd only seen black and white. Let me ask, can you imagine a world without TV or the internet? Back then, radio was the unifying force. It revolutionized information flow, much like social media does today, connecting millions instantly. Big bands performed swing and jazz, led by legends like Duke Ellington. Their music, driven by improvisation, a technical term meaning spontaneous creativity, offered hope and rhythm when all else seemed bleak. The conflict? Escapism could only do so much. Reality always lurked outside the theatre doors, but entertainment gave people the energy to carry on, even inspiring new art forms and social movements. Radio and film also broke down barriers, creating shared national conversations and expanding cultural horizons. So, the 1930 seconds show us that when life gets tough, humans innovate not just with tools, but with stories and music. The resolution is clear. Hope and creativity aren't luxuries, they're lifelines, binding communities together even in the darkest of times. Let's switch gears. What about progress during the 1930 seconds? Surprising as it sounds, hard times sparked remarkable innovations. Take city life amid breadlines and rent parties. Skyscrapers like the Empire State Building soared upward, completed in just over a year despite the Depression. How? A mix of ambition, necessity, and new technology. Assembly line construction, a technical term for building in sequential steps, slashed costs and timelines. Now, you might be asking, if money was tight, who could buy new inventions? Here's the answer. Innovations often targeted the masses. The first supermarkets opened. letting families buy a week's groceries in one stop, replacing dozens of little shops. Cars like the Ford Model A became affordable. Think of it as the 1,930 seconds equivalent of widespread smartphone adoption, suddenly changing mobility for everyone. Let me tell you a story. At the 1939 World's Fair, visitors marveled at television, a technical leap that promised to bring moving images into every home. People saw robots, futuristic kitchens, and even early computers, sparking dreams of a connected, modern future. This was a pivotal moment, turning adversity into opportunity. The conflict? Not everyone benefited equally. Rural areas lagged behind, and many city dwellers still struggled to make ends meet. Skeptics worried that technology would leave some folks behind. It's the same debate we have today about automation and inequality. The resolution, innovation, even in tough times, can uplift society, but only if we ensure access and equity. The 1,930 seconds teach us that crisis doesn't have to halt progress. Instead, it can accelerate the changes that shape our world for decades to come. So next time you use a supermarket or turn on the TV, remember, these comforts were born from an age of struggle, creativity, and hope.